You didn't turn yourself in because you have such a guilty conscience about it all. Somebody had to catch you.
I actually did.
Somebody had to catch you, right?
Today in Judge Stevens' court, defendant originally was here for robbery, is now here for failing to report to probation for 3 years. Let's see how this plays out. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.
All right, explain it to me.
This is a motion to revoke the probation. There is no agreement on this. The only grounds are failure to report, community service, and being behind on fees.
Do we have a probation officer here on this one? Well, all I need to know is this. Has he been an absconder for 3 years?
Yes, Your Honor. As far as
Okay, he just walked off the job on a burglary of habitation, right? And because I'm looking at, I mean, I can add 2 and 2 together here, and it says April 1st, May, June 2020, and then it stops, and then there's a motion to revoke probation filed on June 22nd. So that's anniversary date, almost 3 years, which meant he walked off the job.
in Your Honor, he had originally received a deferred in 2015, and then was placed on a straight probation in May 18th, 2019. And
It's March 18th.
I apologize, March 18th.
Okay. Well,
6 years.
no. How long was he on deferred probation?
He was
before we converted it.
He was on deferred from 2015 to 2019.
Yeah, which that's what I do. It's
about
that's why it's 6 years probation. He got
right. It was
credit
about
for
4.5 years he was on,
All right.
that he was on deferred. And he's been on regular probation now since 2019.
I want to
A little
know
over 4
about
years.
when they picked him up. When was he arrested? Does anybody know that?
May 30th.
Where is that?
On the other side, underneath.
But when was he arrested is what I want.
On the 27th.
When did he finally get in custody?
It was 27th of last month.
May
3 years.
May of
See,
26.
he was gone for 3 years. Oh, okay.
I think it's down.
Yeah, and how did that happen? You got arrested, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
You didn't turn yourself in because you have such a guilty conscience about it all. Somebody had to catch you.
I actually did.
Somebody had to catch you, right?
I was pulled over on a traffic violation.
Yeah. Okay. And then they had
He
it in
let
the
me go.
computer.
He let me go because he didn't run anything. He just gave me a warning from a speeding ticket. But I actually told him what was going on with probation, and he took me in and brought me down because I was in front of my house when he pulled me over. So
Well,
since I was so close,
They
gave me
got
a
you.
warning.
The thing is everything was, you were exposed now. They know who you were. They know where you live. Everything had now collapsed. The house had fallen on top of you. You weren't going anywhere. They got you. It was just a matter of time. But you didn't turn yourself in. This is the thing. You had 3 years to do it. How many days is 3 years? Over 1,000. 1,000 days. Any of those days, 1,000 days go by, and it never bothered you enough to go, there's a warrant out for me. I just can't live with this. I've got such a conscience that is bothering me, but it didn't bother you.
You did.
Yeah, that's why you turned yourself in within those 1,000 days. Well, okay. What do y'all want to do?
We're ready to proceed.
All right. In 15-22743, does the defendant, and you're Tremaine Celestine,
Yes, sir.
and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm any statement you make today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Lower your hands. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, sir.
In summary, this states that on May 18th, 2019, you were sentenced to 10 years in probation, 10 years imprisonment, probated for 6 years for burglary of a habitation. Do you understand what you're charged with here?
Yes, sir.
Is there a probation officer on there?
She's on our way.
Because I'd like a pre-sentence report. Do you happen to have a copy?
Yes, Your
of it?
Honor.
Oh, we can, sir. report to the probation office on or about April 1st, May 6th, May 13th, May 20th, June 2nd, and June 10th of 2020 in violation of your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
True.
Are you pleading true to that voluntarily and because it is true?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by pleading true, that is enough, voluntary and knowing plea of true is enough to grant this motion to revoke probation by a preponderance of the evidence or greater?
Yes, sir.
Your probation can be revoked. You can be sentenced to no less than 2, no more than 10 years confinement in prison. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true today?
Yes, sir.
I find you pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true.
Well, Your Honor, again, he's been on some sort of probation since 2015. He reported, since he's been placed on regular probation, he reported, I think, pretty well for about a year. And then COVID struck. And if you'll note the dates that he failed to report began with the onslaught of the bad COVID stuff locally. He advises me that he got out of the habit of reporting, did not follow through with it, and realized that he needs to do that. In his favor, we have no new offenses other than this failure to report. He has a job and he's been successfully working and doing well. We're asking the court to hold this in abeyance, let him continue on probation and be a good citizen, with an admonishment that he needs to start reporting again regularly.
Your Honor, the state would just argue that defendant was given a chance by being placed on straight probation. We just asked for 7 years TDC, Your Honor.
Anything you want to say, sir?
When it all started, the reason I stopped reporting because my fiance, she became real ill. She's been having major surgeries every year since 2019. So it put me on a burner to where I just had to work full time and be a full time dad.
What stopped you from reporting? So
It's just the time frame. When
No.
COVID happened, it switched from I think going up there
when
to
was the last
calling
time you reported?
Around COVID, like 2020.
I know.
Yes,
That's
sir.
been 1,000 days. You
I
couldn't
literally-
squeeze in on your busy schedule a little reporting.
I literally been working every day since then, Your Honor. Monday through Saturday, and I'm off on Sunday.
Who's been the supervisor on your probation?
Who's been my supervisor? Miss Broussard.
No, you have been.
Oh,
You've been supervising your probation.
yes, sir.
They don't know where you are, who you were, what you're doing, anything about you. And if we've got 5,000 probationers, if everybody did that and thought, well, that's what I'm going to do, what Tremaine gets away with, please, we wouldn't have a job, really. 85% of the people on probation do fine, follow the rules and report regularly and do what they have to do. And this is serious. Somebody's home, you burglarized somebody's home and stole stuff. Big screen TV, just all for them. All right, anything else?
Nothing.
Nothing further.
If nothing further, I'm going to find there is sufficient evidence supporting this motion to revoke probation to grant it by a preponderance of the evidence or since or greater, since allegation 1 has been proven true. Your probation is revoked. You have already been found guilty of the 2nd-degree felony, sentenced originally or most recently when your probation was revoked the first time. And you were then, what were you revoked the first time for when you were placed on deferred? Because I know the answer to this. I just want everybody to know it. Failing to report. Yeah. So you know how important this was. Your probation is revoked, sir, and you are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 7 years. I think the states. You got a problem with that? Maybe you shouldn't burglarize people, and maybe when you're placed on probation twice, you ought to follow the rules. You have a problem because you want your rules to be followed. Everybody on this planet has to follow rules. That's so we don't infringe on other people like you have done illegally. If you don't like that, we can sentence you up to 10 years. Well, I'm looking at this pre-sentence report and at the beginning, it looked like you were going to be success on this because you said all the right things. You just don't do the right
I
thing.
can finish.
We don't have to, we're not going to run around and catch 5,000 people. You got to follow the rules, but you were put on notice the first time you were revoked. You were put on notice. This is serious. And for 3 years, 1,000 days, not any of those days did you feel compelled with your conscience to come in and say, y'all are looking for me and I'm going to do the right thing because I'm bothered. Sir, this is what we call justice. And that's what we're supposed to have for everybody. And you, by your poor actions, set examples as well for others. Don't do this. It has consequences. Yeah, you probably, the sad thing is you probably are able to. You just don't want to.
Yeah, I do.
You made choices, the same wrong choices
I just
that
started
we
my
put you on
career, so-
probation, that we put you on notice for.
Man, I
And,
just started my
and if you
career.
can't do anything, you got to report, because if you don't, you're not on probation. You're not supervised. And without supervision, you will fail. That is all. August Coleman,